Welcome to Chisholm Trail 61. Today, we're going to do us a recipe. We got St. Patrick's Day coming up in just a couple of days, so we're going to do us a traditional Irish recipe. I'm going to show you how I do rumble-de-thumps. I'm going to show you how I do it right now. Okay, first thing we're going to do is, in our pot here on the stove, we got about 7 large russet potatoes. We're going to boil them and get them tender, and we're just going to let them boil until they get tender. And then over here in the skillet, we got about 2 tablespoons of butter, and we got about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. Now you can use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you want to use. We just want to get that melted around. Trying to get that where y'all can get a good view of it there. That light glaring down on there. Sort of blocking your view there. But we're just going to let that butter melt. We want to get that good and hot there. And what we're going to do, when it gets good and hot, we got 1 medium diced onion, and we got about 3 to 4 scallions, little scallions, the little onions there that we chopped up. And we're just going to pour them in there. Now we did add about a teaspoon and a half of salt to our potatoes over there. We're going to let that go, and we're going to let them saute there for just a minute, and we'll bring you back. All right, now I hope you can see our onions are starting to get just a little bit translucent. They're not really, cooked, sauteed down all the way, but they're, starting to get translucent there. So what we want to do now, we got 1 small head of cabbage that we just chopped up here, just roughly chopped. And we're going to just drop that over in there. Just drop that whole head of cabbage in there. Like I said, it's just a small head now. That's not one of your larger heads. That's just a little small head of cabbage. If I was using a large head, I probably would just do about half of the head. That's all I would do. And what we're going to do, we're going to cook this down, let our cabbage cook down, and then we'll bring it back once we get our cabbage cooked down and our potatoes get tender there. Okay, we got our potatoes off of the burner over there. We got them to where they're just tender like we would do, almost like, if we was fixing mashed potatoes. But no, we're not going to do mashed potatoes. And what we're going to do, we're going to add to that, we got about 7 or 8 pieces of bacon that we cooked up. We're going to just drop that in there. We just, chopped it up in little pieces and cooked it up. Now the original recipe, the original Irish recipe don't call for this, but I like to add this myself. I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of salt, about 3/4 teaspoon of black pepper. That's my go-to spices right there. If you watch my videos, you know that's my go-to spices. I put that in just about everything. So we're going to add that on our own. That's not part of the recipe. That's optional. You can add it if you want to or not if you don't want to. We're going to take our potato masher, and we're not going to mash these potatoes up. We're just going to break up some of them in the bottom. We're going to leave some of them whole. And well, not whole, but in pretty good pieces. We don't want to mash them completely like we was doing mashed potatoes. We're just going to sort of crumble up some of them, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See how we got some there that's broke up, and then we got some still in pretty good chunks there. And so now what we're going to do to that, we got our cabbage and onions here. Now I fried my cabbage up. You don't have to fry them this dark if you don't want to, but this is the way I like my cabbage. I like it browning on my cabbage. So we're going to take and put our cabbage in here with this. Add our cabbage to it. And again, that's either 1 whole head of cabbage if it's a small cabbage, or a half to 3/4 of a large cabbage. Believe me, you'll fill up a 9 by 13 casserole dish with this before you're done. And we're just going to stir all this up really well. And the potatoes are going to mash up some, but that's okay. All right, there you go. I hope you can see what we got there, but that's what it looks like. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna raise up my casserole dish there, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, I forgot to spray my number 13 dish with cooking spray, so I had to stop and do that right fast like. Okay, now continuing on, we're gonna take our mixture here, our potato and cabbage mixture. We're just gonna sort of spoon it out into our casserole dish here. We want to we don't want it just cram, not packed down. That's why we're going to spoon it out, most of it, and so it doesn't get just real packy on us. We don't want it packed down like mashed potatoes. We want it just sort of crumbly in there. And yeah, I know I'm going to break a dish one of these days doing that. I hear that all the time. My viewers tell me that. My wife tells me that. But, that dish ought to be able to take a little tap. I just want to get it all. And I'm trying to hold that up where y'all can see what I'm doing down there in my dish. Man, you talk about good eating now. If you're looking for something to make for St. Patrick's Day, this is the dish you want to make right here. And there, we're just going to try to just sort of move it around a little bit there, to be sure we got it all filled in there. We're going to set that over here out the way. And last but not least, we got some cheddar cheese here. And we're going to just douse the top really, really well. You may have heard my oven go off over there. Oven set at 400 degrees over there. So we want plenty of cheese on here. Matter of fact, we want 2 cups of cheese on here, which is exactly what's in this pack here. Yes, 2 cups of cheese. We're just going to sprinkle that on real good. Get that over out the way. Now I'll pick this up and show you here up close. That's what it should look like when we put it in the oven. Now we're going to put it in the oven 400 degrees, and we're going to let it go for about 25 to 35 minutes until our cheese gets melty real good and we get a little browning on top. We'll bring you back in. We're going to cut into this sapsucker and we're going to see what's inside of it, what it looks like. Okay, we got to rumple the thumps out of the oven there, and it's been setting about 15 or 20 minutes. We're going to cut us out some of it here, and we're going to see what she tastes like, what she looks like. Now this can be eaten as a side dish, a main dish, whatever you want to eat it as. It's eaten both ways. Boy, look at that. You can still see the steam coming off of it. She's still hot. But we're going to set it out here and we're going to take us a bite of it. Man, does that look good. I can't wait to get into this. Whew. She's going to be hot, but I'm going to take one for the team here. Give me a little bit of all of it here. Shoo-wee. It's going to be so good. Man, and cheese and potatoes with that cabbage and bacon. You couldn't ask for any more. Like I said, if you're looking for something to fix St. Patrick's Day, this is your dish. Hey, got to try this recipe. Let me know if you've eaten it before, if you like it. Leave me a comment there in the comments. If you would, like, share, comment, subscribe to our channel. We appreciate all of you do. We appreciate all of you take time every day to watch our videos. Rumbled thumps, an Irish recipe. We'll see you on the next one.